Today I'm at a mall that is definitely not a dead mall. It's the Cherry Hill Mall in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. This is one of the region's biggest and most successful malls. It was also the first indoor mall east of the Mississippi River, having opened in 1961. It was designed by Victor Gruen and built on the site of the old George Joss farm by the Rouse Company, at a cost of $30 million, which is equivalent to over $300 million today. At the time, it was the largest mall in the United States and featured 90 stores as well as exotic birds, tropical plants, fountains, and a movie theater. There was also a small amusement park and an arcade. Some of the original stores included Bamberger's, Strawbridge and Clothier, Food Fair, Thrift Drug, Kresge's, Woolworth's, and 2 liquor stores. This section of the mall I'm in now opened in 2009 along with Nordstrom. It replaced what was called the Cherry Court, which was the center of the mall, and that's where Strawbridge and Clothier was located from the mall's opening in 1961 until 2006. After Strawbridge and Clothier closed, they demolished the building and built Nordstrom and this wing in its place. I have to say, even though the mall itself is thriving, the second floor of this particular wing always seems pretty dead to me, but that's just because there's really not much up here except for Nordstrom, Forever 21, and Urban Outfitters, which all have entrances from the first floor as well. Other than that, I think there's only a hair salon, the exit to the parking garage, and this place's signature workspace, which I don't think was here the last time I was here. I'm not exactly sure what it is. I filmed this the day after Christmas around 1 p.m. and they hadn't taken down the decorations yet. Straight ahead you can see the Christmas tree and Santa display. I came here right after I was at the Moorestown Mall, which is located right down the road and is also owned by Priet, the owner of Cherry Hill Mall, and they were already taking down their Christmas decorations while I was there. But like Moorestown Mall, Cherry Hill Mall also has operating fountains, which is very rare nowadays. Now look how busy the first floor is compared to the second floor. This is pretty much how the entire mall is, except for the second floor of this wing. These tables and chairs here are for the Nordstrom E-Bar, which is a cafe straight ahead, and they seem to do pretty good business. There's a few different places in this mall to get coffee, which I definitely appreciate as someone who loves coffee. Pretty much every time I'm here, I always end up going to the Nordstrom E-Bar. Their coffee's not bad. Here's another fountain. Unfortunately, there's only 2, but that's better than most malls, which have none. Now, Cherry Hill Mall has a good mix of high-end stores and middle-class friendly stores. It seems like the corridor I'm in now between Nordstrom and Macy's has more high-end stores like Lululemon, the North Face, and Michael Kors. And then the JCPenney wing, which we'll see in a little while, has some more middle-class friendly stores. Now we're entering what was originally called the Delaware Mall, which ran between Strawbridge and Clothier and Bamberger's. That place in the middle of the mall right there, the bistro at Cherry Hill, was originally the Woolworths Cafe. That's original to the mall. And after Woolworths closed, the restaurant remained. And speaking of Woolworths, it was located on the right a little bit ahead of this. I'm not exactly sure what storefronts it took up at the time, but I'm pretty sure that the H&M, which we're about to pass, is part of the old Woolworths. And from what I understand, the Woolworths closed in 1997. The mall has gone through many changes, renovations, and expansions over the years. In 1973, a 9-story office tower was built outside the mall, which is still there today, but from what I understand, they're going to be demolishing it soon and replacing it with a Dick's House of Sport. In 1977, a new 2-story wing was built north of the original Market Court, along with a new JCPenney. In the 90s, the mall was renovated with a new teal and gray color scheme, with new skylights, and also the original staircase that led up to the second floor of Strawbridge and Clothier was replaced with a new staircase and escalator combination. This Macy's up here was the location of Bamberger's from 1961 to 1986 when it became Macy's. And straight ahead there was a side entrance to the Bamberger's / Macy's, which closed I think about a year ago in late 2023. I'm not sure why they closed that off. Maybe they turned that area of the store into storage space or something. But that seems to be a common theme at the Bamberger's. They all seem to have a side entrance like that.
Stop it.
There used to be a Dunkin' Donuts stand in the middle of the mall right around here. I can't remember exactly where it was, but it was definitely here as recently as November of 2024. So I'm not sure what happened to it. According to the mall's website, Dunkin' Donuts is still open, and according to Google Maps, it's temporarily closed, but it seems to have just disappeared altogether. Unless they're moving it to another location. In 2003, Cherry Hill Mall was acquired by Priet, which still owns it today, and pretty early on in their ownership, they started renovating it. Between 2007 and 2009, the mall underwent a $220 million renovation, which saw 228,000 square feet of new retail added. The old Strawbridge and Clothier building was demolished, like I mentioned earlier, and replaced by a new 2-level wing anchored by Nordstrom, which opened in 2009. Also, several new exterior restaurants were added along the Route 38 side of the mall, and a new exterior entrance to the H&M was also constructed. Additionally, the mall's original food court was replaced by a new, smaller food court. A new 3-story parking garage was constructed, which is where I entered from, and Crate and Barrel and the Container Store joined the mall as out-parcel stores out in the parking lot. These changes really revitalized the mall and are probably the reason why the mall is still so successful today. It's really one of the most successful malls in this area. Whenever you're watching the news in Philadelphia and they show the mall on Black Friday or during Christmas season, it's always King of Prussia Mall, Cherry Hill Mall, or Christiana Mall. Those are the 3 most successful malls in this area. This Abercrombie & Fitch to my right was the original location of Kresge, which, if you don't know, was the predecessor store to Kmart. This wing of the mall was originally known as the Market Court. There was a thrift drug somewhere around here, but I'm not exactly sure where it was. JD Sports over there, that just opened recently in November of 2024, and that was originally the location of the Food Fair grocery store, which was an original anchor of the mall and was here up until 1977. And I'm not sure what it became at that point, but it eventually became the Gap, and the Gap was here for many years. They closed in 2018. And to my right here is a rare vacancy that I believe was Finish Line Shoes, and that closed pretty recently as well. There actually is a Finish Line within the Macy's, so I guess maybe they just closed that store because they're already at the Macy's. I'm not sure. And now we're about to enter the 1977 expansion, which is 2 levels. This is kind of like the Monmouth Mall, where it goes from 1 level and then splits into 2. T-Mobile on the right there used to be McDonald's. I used to go there all the time when I was a kid, and I think that closed in the late 2000s when the mall was renovated. Now we're entering the new food court, which was added in 2009. And this is smaller than the original food court, but it is a pretty good food court. There's no vacancies here at all, and there's always a lot of people here. Now that's interesting. You've got 2 Thai restaurants right next to each other, Lotus Express and Thai Max. That's weird. Of course, Charlie's seems to be in almost every mall food court. Doughboy's Pizza, I've never heard of that. That's probably a local place. M2O, I've never heard of that. Everybody knows Salad Works. And Chicken Now, I think there's one at Oxford Valley Mall, but that's not really a major chain. Here's the JCPenney, which opened in 1977 along with this wing. And this on the right here used to be Modell's, and that closed several years before Modell's went out of business. I'm surprised that this one closed You would think that this would be one of the better performing ones, being in Cherry Hill Mall. As of 2022, Cherry Hill Mall had an occupancy rate of 96.2%, which is pretty amazing in this age of dying retail. And that definitely seems about right based on what I saw when I was walking around. I think at this point in the video, I've only seen 2 vacancies. And new retailers are still wanting to move in here. It's a very high-end destination. Everybody wants to be here. As of 2022, the sales per square foot of the mall was $929. So it's doing very well. I think this place is going to be here for a long time to come. This is what pretty much every mall was like back when I was a kid. There do seem to be a lot of shoe stores at this mall. I have to apologize for all the random cuts. I kept seeing security and I really didn't want them to see my camera. I don't really think they would have cared, but it's better to be safe than sorry. This Old Navy opened in 2003. This gelato shop, De Villas, I guess it's called, is pretty new. I think that only opened around the summer of 2024. The Spencer's here was an original tenant of the mall back in 1961. I'm not sure if it was always in that location, though. American Eagle on the right was the location of the mall's original food court, which, like I said, closed in the late 2000s when they renovated the mall. I'm really not sure why they decided to move the food court. I guess they decided to downsize it so that they could have more room for stores. And I guess since they brought in those new restaurants, they figured they didn't need as big of a food court. But I don't know, I kind of like the old food court better. That's probably my only complaint about the renovations. All in all, Cherry Hill Mall is not only doing well, it is thriving. It's very strange to see a mall doing so well nowadays, but it's also great to see. I don't think we have to worry about this becoming a dead mall anytime soon. But there you have it, that's the Cherry Hill Mall in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. A rare, thriving mall. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.